All right, we got some big breaking news to get to in the basketball world and NBA free agency. The Los Angeles Lakers, Vicky, have now confirmed that basketball legend LeBron James has informed them he is going to be taking his talents elsewhere next season.
But not probably South Beach, I don't think. While he won't be in Los Angeles, he is not throwing in the towel. The 41-year-old is reportedly planning to explore unrestricted free agency. And guess who's knocking? The Golden State Warriors, Sam. They're emerging as a possible spot for LeBron James.
What a pairing that would be with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky joining us from the LA Bureau. Everyone's got to be buzzing on this right now, Morgan. Folks have been speculating about LeBron's retirement for years, but clearly he's playing at an all-NBA level. He says he's not, or he is playing another season, but he's going to be moving teams. What's the blueprint here?
There is no blueprint, Sam. I think LeBron James has rewritten the blueprint when it comes to the longevity and the success of an NBA player. I mean, here he is playing in multiple decades at an incredibly high level, 24 seasons. He's essentially our generation's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and then some, just because of the gaudy numbers that he's put up. He gave the Lakers notice that he does want to play for a new team next season so they can begin kind of strategizing and figure out which direction they want their team to go as they start to assemble those pieces. But Sam, you make the good point. If he indeed finds a way with, Draymond Green potentially exiting or not maximizing his contract with the Golden State Warriors, could he be paired up with Steph Curry? That would create yet another iteration of the super teams that we've seen Curry play for with Kevin Durant in years past when they won multiple championships. So it will be very interesting to see where things go from here. I do want to share the statement from Lakers team owner Jeannie Buss that they just posted to the team's Instagram just a few minutes ago. It reads in part, LeBron James is one of the greatest athletes in history. We will always be thankful for his 8 years with the Lakers, including the title he led us to in 2020 under the toughest imaginable circumstances and the countless records he broke in purple and gold. We wish him all the best in the future, both on the court and off. He will always be a cherished part of the Lakers family. As a Spurs fan here, Sam, I'm highly intrigued as what comes next. It's this potential domino effect here. Should be fun
our
to watch.
Condolences to you, Morgan, as a Spurs fan. I did not know that. But if he goes up Highway 101 to the Golden State Warriors,
they're going to be formidable, no doubt. Yeah. Morgan, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.